Ken, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yep.
All right.
All right.
So
Great.
someone should make a motion or start the meeting again.
I'd like to make a motion that we reconvene the meeting following some technical difficulties here on Wednesday, July 29th, 2025.
All right, is there a second? All right. Mr. Piker,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Sergeant Bradley,
Can I interrupt? You
Mr.
said
Polito.
2025 instead of 29.
January 29th, 2025.
I don't think we
Okay.
need to vote on redoing it, but restarting the meeting. But, Mr. Polito?
Aye.
All right, and myself, aye. Okay. So, a vote to elect the officer positions. The at-large commissioner position we voted on in July of 2024.
All right,
So we should be fine with that, right?
I think so. So yeah,
I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Mike Piker as vice chair.
Okay, I'll second that. Mr. Piker? Oh, no, we can't do, you can't vote. Never mind. Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Sergeant Bradley,
Sergeant Bradley?
and
Mr.
then,
Polito?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Ken, just to be clear, the at-large commissioner seat is my seat on the
Correct.
board, not the chairman.
All right, so we're gonna make a motion that we make a motion to elect Peter Collins as chair.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay. Can I call this roll?
you want me to call the roll?
Why not?
All right. So we have a motion from Ken Polito, seconded by Mike Pica, to make Peter Collins chair of Lake Quinsigamond Commission. So we'll roll call. Bill Nelson.
Aye.
Peter, we are skipping. Mike Pica,
Aye.
Sergeant Bradley,
Aye.
and then Ken Polito.
Aye.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm going to jump to commissioners' reports. Thank you, everyone, by the way. I'm
We
going to.
need to make, don't we need to make a treasurer?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, absolutely right. So.
Like to make a motion of Bill Nelson as treasurer?
You accept, Bill?
Yep.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Piker,
Aye.
Sergeant Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Polito,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Okay. Now I'm going to skip the commissioners' reports and just go to the voting part on the for the races. So, is there a microphone at the table?
Yes,
There's one right there, so you need to.
there's some
Okay.
on the
You come
table right
down
there.
and you're off the hook, Joe. Well, you're going to be on TV anyway, buddy, because you know.
Do those work?
Yep.
Okay, good.
And then I'm just going to share, I'm going to pull up the map as you start explaining.
Okay, so the third annual Rocket Regatta. I don't remember that name before, but,
Well, this will be the fourth annual, actually, and it's actually named after Dr. Goddard from Worcester,
oh, okay, nice.
whose wife was a dear friend of mine, actually. Dr. Goddard's 100th anniversary of his first flight is next year in 2026. And it's purported to be a very significant celebration. We'll be a small part of that, we hope. We've been in touch with the Goddard Foundation, but we've had such initial success with this little regatta that we just want to keep it flowing this year and certainly into next. But it's been an extraordinarily successful regatta in that I've already been contacted by 5 different rowing clubs out of the area to make sure they get it on their schedule for this coming year.
Nice. Is that a growth from before?
Well, this will be the one that's just in the morning.
Yeah.
It's got the relay, but we're very pleased with it. We have to cap the numbers, it's so popular.
Good.
So
All right.
we have to give the park back to the public. So, we share Regatta Point with the public as well, so that's the biggest limitation on us. But the race in July is contained solely in the last 1,000 meters, the 1,000 meters between, say, the gazebo and Regatta Point. That's where the race exists.
Okay.
And so there may be a handful of boats that that launched themselves out of the Donahue, but both of these races, but particularly this one, runs out of Regatta Point State Park. Everything's fast though, and we don't need any ramp closures at that.
Okay, so you're going from 5:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. I mean, it's Sunday, so you got a shot of getting things off without getting too crazy down there?
We've generally
That
been able,
time?
we get people off in time. That just gives us enough time to start removing the course. We do have a double lane buoyed course that we start removing as soon as the race is over.
Okay, all right.
But for safety reasons, we found that having the buoys up there is much better. So,
All
So
right.
the return time at 2 PM is when all the buoys will be removed?
that's our goal. We hope so. It's easier said than done. But, we don't inhibit anybody's ability to use the lake. It's more just the ability to get them out in time.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I mean, at that time of day on a Sunday, you can probably not expect heavy traffic at that point.
This is what we've done the last three years, and it's,
Okay,
I think I mentioned to Mike earlier, we've had great cooperation with the boating public as well. They've been very, very good about us. We put an officer in a boat nearby and just asked them to calm down while, race is going on. But there's plenty of time interlude for people to pass by and use the rest of the lake. It's a
Right.
big lake.
all right, yep. Well, it's skinny, that's always my concern. Okay. And the other permits that we need to do this, that you've got those, yes?
I'm sorry.
The other permits?
Okay. So this is a new race.
Yep,
All right, and it's modeled, we were approached by Philippi Boat Company, who's the manufacturer of the best boats in the world. All the Olympic rowers row them. When I started with Mike's calendar, we actually engaged these guys, and they decided they would like to have a 10K race, and they want to have one in North America, and they can't think of a better venue than
nice.
Lake Quinsigamond. So, part of this is, it's a significantly longer race. It encompasses most of the lake. Most rowers who've rowed there from out of town don't know what the southern portion of the lake even looks like. They're not allowed to go down there. They would be here. We're trying to give them a little cruise through the lake. So the racing is more like parade style, where one boat starts and another follows behind them and everybody's on time. But there's some unusual aspects of this race in that we pass Regatta Point 3 times. So if you're rooting for somebody or looking at somebody, they're gonna pass Regatta Point, heading south, heading back north, and then heading south again. So, its logistics will be, they're not impossible. We've certainly done a few different versions of, based on numbers, et cetera, what we think. And number one, we need to keep it safe and smoothly flowing. But what's good for us is that Regatta Point Park Beach is closed at that point, so I'd be able to take the entirety of Regatta Point Park, I hope. The DCR has indicated that that's an option for us, and we'll be able to host everything again out of Regatta Point. So it would be pretty self-contained. Now, the race that they modeled after is from Turin, Italy. It's got a big Italian theme. They said, make sure you have plenty of good food. I think that's a secondary consideration at this point. But what we're trying to do is exhibit Lake Quinsigamond is home to a race that is very, very unique. The fact that this is quite a few turns, and it's we are already attracting, I think 4 or 5 of the people who signed that calendar want to participate. So we're hopeful to get some Olympic-style times on this thing as well. There's no other race like it, as far as I know, not with these challenges. So we'll see how that goes.
It sounds actually really, really cool.
Can I pause meeting for just a second? Is anyone here driving a red car? Somebody's trunk popped open.
Yes, I have a red
I'll
card.
close it for you.
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Just wanted to check before.
No, that's
right.
happened before. They come out to a shopping center parking lot and then it's up, and I don't know why.
Yeah, so, I mean, we wouldn't be looking for any ramp closures as far as I know. We'd look at it the same way we'd look at the earlier regatta. Everything runs out of Regatta Point, and everybody launches from there, and we manage the traffic on the water the way we always would.
Couple of questions? I assume this is a head race, then?
Yes, it's a head race style.
No parallel boat side by side?
No, everything's, like I mentioned, it's parade style.
Right.
One boat follows the next.
And I also assume, since apparently you have the boats turning the third time after the start line, that you assume that the 10K is long enough that the last boat is launched from the starting line before the first boat returns?
In the models that I've done, yes, that is correct. And we would, it will take a little bit of tap dancing on our part to make sure, as we're placing boats of certain abilities, recognized abilities, and that we have enough latitude so that one race isn't going to interrupt another. The worst thing for us to happen would be is if we had some conflicting stuff. And so we just really want everything to kind of be smoothly flowing. We should allow enough time in between each of the different events as to prevent that from happening.
Yes, it'll be interesting to watch the eights trying to make that last tight turn.
They love it. Yes, Mike?
If I can, are these going to be all eights?
Oh, no.
No.
It would be primarily singles and doubles, smaller boats. We have had some interest from the colleges, and that's only an option at this point that I'm asking, and maybe we'd like to do that. If there's enough interest, if there's, say, a dozen, 10 eights that want to do it, we'll do a portion of that.
So these participants going to be on the college or master's level? Or?
Mostly on the master's level. If they run eights, that'll be on the college level.
Okay.
And if there's further interest from juniors, we're proposing to run a half version of this, run down to the Narrows and back. But that's only if there's interest and if we're allowed to. We don't know, other than anecdotal information that said, oh, we'd love to do it.
Do you have any idea in terms of number of participants?
Number of
The number of participants?
I think I mentioned there's possibly 100 different boats.
Yeah, 80 to 90.
Yeah, in the models that I ran, it's maybe about 60 singles, 20 doubles, and then a handful of eights and quads and things like that. But it's mostly for singles. It's a long race. It's twice as long as the head of the Charles. And it's more challenging than the head of the Charles in navigation. It's not easy unless you live here. And even then, it's not going to be easy. But we think, just that course, people will see, like I've mentioned, most rowers from out of the town have no idea how beautiful Lake Quinsigamond is on the south side of Route 9 Bridge. And we love to show it off. So if we only ran the smaller boats, would be done by noontime. If we do get the larger boats, again, it all depends on the numbers of entries. Would probably go another hour if we ran the eights and another hour if we ran juniors. I wouldn't anticipate a lot of juniors here. Just want to see what kind of latitude we might be able to get from this group.
Okay, Sergeant Bradley, questions, concerns?
I think the summer boating season would be slowing down by that point in September, so I think it'd be a great race.
Okay,
Just a couple of other comments. This race would be sanctioned by U.S. Rowing. Both of them would be sanctioned by U.S. Rowing, which means we're bound to all of their regulations. We like that. We have the top racing official in the country already lined up to be the head referee here. She does the national championships as well. She's looking forward to this one as well. So that will attract a lot of people as well, knowing that they're going to be in good hands.
okay. Mr. Polito, any questions, concerns?
No, I think it's a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, I have some concerns. I love the race. I don't have any concerns with the race and what you're doing, and I think it's a really cool thing. My concern is, though, if on 9/14, if it's a nice day, the lake's going to be busy, no doubt. This is going to take up the whole lake. So, and it's going to be a parade of boats that are basically, effectively going to shut the lake down from a wake standpoint, because technically you can't wake crew boat, right? So they're gonna have to go, the concern I have with that is that I think we're almost better off of declaring just no wake on the whole lake, and that way, we're not,
We can put the signage out.
we're not trying to chase it, because what's gonna happen is, you know, wherever law enforcement's out that day, and hopefully, there'll be more than one boat, but we don't know. I mean, so, you know, there may be no one causing a wake all the way up to Kings Point, and then the Narrows, and then, you know, a wake boat's on the other end, not knowing that he's not supposed to do this, or someone's pulling a skier, or whatever they're doing. So that's my concern, Joe, is that,
I think it's a legitimate concern, and, you know, certainly if we extended it into the afternoon, that's my number one worry.
Yeah.
We could start even earlier.
I mean, I think even the time you have it started, I guess, and I'm, you know, I'll go with the pleasure of the board on this, but you know, is this an occasion to, I guess, you know, say basically we're gonna make the lake no wake, not no access, just that you can't make a wake.
2 PM.
To 2 PM, or whenever the race is done,
Noon time.
whichever comes first.
If I start early, say at 7 o'clock, I could probably guarantee all morning I'd be busy till 11:30.
Yeah.
And then if I jump to the condensed version for juniors, that just stays from the Narrows north. So
Right.
at least that portion of the lake gets opened back up again to somebody. We'd certainly have the latitude, and I don't know the numbers of entrants that we'd get either.
Well, 100 boats is 100, you know, if it's 90 to 100, the 90 to 100, that's rowers or with the boats?
I'm sorry.
Is the 90 to 100
Boats.
It's an 80 to 90.
Boats, that's boats.
80
Boats.
to
You
90
said
boats?
Boats.
Okay, so, you know, that's a
the
lot of boats.
max. I don't think we could, I don't feel like managing that number even. I'd like to.
Yeah, no, you know, this isn't, I guess I'm offering or want to, you know, go one step further than you did. And by the way, this is the most comprehensive
Application.
application and permit
We appreciate it.
I've ever seen in the, and I do appreciate it. I think we're going to make a new standard.
I am a project manager.
Yeah, I know.
by trade, so.
I'm fully aware of, I've worked with you in the past. So, you know, I guess I want to put an additional safety step in there, because I really, like I said, if this is a 70, 80 degree day,
Oh.
even in the morning, I mean, that'd be beautiful for you, but, you know, it's, you know, that, and the issue is too, that the skiers are gonna be out in the morning, because they want to beat, you know, the tourist crowd coming in or
They
whatever.
love what we love.
Exactly. They love the calm water in the early mornings. You know, and we know that because we you know, that's the rowers against the towers every morning during the week. So, you know, I can pretty much guarantee that if that's the case and that weather, you know, if it's a windy kind of, you know, overcast day, not going to be an issue. You know, we can and deal with that. But if it's not, then you're gonna have boats out there
Typically,
making a
that
wake, and you know, there's boats all over the lake, and it's, you know, going through the Narrow. That's no wake anyway. But you know, that's I just think you know, and you got 2 lanes too. So when you're coming down from Kings Point to back to the Corey's to the Burns Bridge, you know, you're gonna have at least 2 boats across.
No, no.
Well, you got a return lane,
Opposite directions.
opposite directions.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be, what I'm trying to say is, there's gonna be boats on both sides.
Where that red arrow is, that's the finish. So they're gonna, the boats start at the green arrow and head parade style.
No, I got that, but you're gonna be, when you go around, and this is gonna happen 3 times. It's like golf. So you're gonna keep going around, and there's gonna be boats on the west side of the waterway there, and boats on the east side, because there's gonna be traffic going south and traffic going north, correct?
He's trying
way-
to
the
scatter
models-
them so that doesn't happen.
They're still gonna,
They're going to, yeah.
yeah, it's still gonna be out
The
there.
models that I created timing-wise with like 15-second separation between them
Right.
starting, there's no chance,
Would you object?
very small chance.
If we put a no wake in effect there?
No.
All right.
But I will have boats traveling up on the Worcester side very slowly, close to the beach side.
Oh, I got you.
Well, I mean-
I'm not worried about your boats.
But
You're gonna be doing what you're doing, they're gonna be rowing.
Visitors to the lake.
Not even visitors, the residents are gonna be out there. I'd rather have this, out in the public, out in front of it and saying, this race is happening. From the commissioners, from my standpoint as a commissioner, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great race. I think it brings a real positive aspect, especially if the boat which boat manufacturer is it?
Philippi,
So if, these guys,
the boat of champions.
if these guys are saying, this is a great race, they can't think of a better place to have it, I agree with that, and that's the kind of positive thing we want at Lake Quinsigamond. So I think all that's good. I don't have any problem with the race or what you're doing. My concern is that, my experience has been on a Sunday afternoon, if it's nice weather, even in September, those days are gifts. So everyone wants to get out there and take advantage of it, so.
So we may be pushing it if we're trying to get into the afternoon portion, certainly.
Again, the only thing we have to worry about is being able to manage the motorboat traffic.
Right.
And, putting a no wake zone in will make it easier for law enforcement, because I'm concerned that you're gonna be running around all the time trying to chase down this person and that person, which still may happen to a degree, but at least everyone, in fairness to the public, everyone is warned. Everybody knows, September 14th, no wake, we're having this race, go to your shore and enjoy it. Because the other cool thing about this is that, when you guys have, when the crews are typically racing, except for the Snake, when the crews are typically racing, the people on the north end see it, but none of the other residents see it. And we went to a friend of ours' house to view this right at Kings Point. And, it was a really cool thing. Like, we were standing there watching the race go by, and people were cheering, and, it's not, we had really good seats, but, it's not something people get to see. But, the comment I got from other folks involved in it, that they thought the same thing when the race went by their house. They thought it was pretty slick. So I think it's an opportunity for the public to get to see this as well. So that's.
If I may, could you switch to the other map that shows?
This one?
Yes, so that'd be some of the points where I'm planning to have officials or, and supplemented by a couple of police boats as well, where those stars are located. That'd be where certainly a launch or two would be out there.
Right.
Managing.
And,
So it's not like everybody's just gonna go out and be on their lonesome. They're gonna have some.
No, I understand that, but the point is that I'm not worried about your rowers managing where they're going. Hopefully, your officials will be out there and people will be out there to guide them if they kind of go off course. I'm more worried about the general public being out there in motorboats making a wake, and we're going to have to, law enforcement's going to have to manage that by saying you can't make a wake when they're not warned that they can't make a wake.
Right.
And I can tell you this from experience as well. Even when there is a no wake zone on Lake Quinsigamond, they get we'll say feedback about no one told me this was happening, and blah blah blah, and why can't I make a wake, and the launch boat is going too fast, and
I
yada,
sometimes
yada.
provide direct feedback if it happens to me, but I don't like to do that. We don't
No,
like to
and
engage those.
I get that, and I encourage you not to
I don't.
directly feedback people, but I guess I'm not sure how we
Well, could I,
make a
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
that both we approve on the calendar here, item number 8, in terms of the third annual
Yeah.
Rocket Regatta on Sunday, the 27th, from 5:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., and I'd like to make a motion to also approve the Worcester Boat Club's application for the 10K Conquest on Sunday, the 14th, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., with the understanding that there'll be a no-wake zone relative to the course from, as Mr. May describes it, the gazebo on the north part of Lake Quinsigamond down to the islands area, again, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. That part of the lake is considered to be a no-wake zone. and we'll do our best, and they'll do their best to try to manage that so that we can have a successful event. That's my motion, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, can I
Yes.
interrupt? Looking at the maps, the race continues well down on the South Cove past the islands, so I think we should add an addendum to that, that no wake zone goes not just down the islands, but all the way down the South Cove.
I think, well, Mr. Pike, I think I'm fine with that. If you want to specify that, that's fine. Mr. Pike's motion was to, throughout the entire course of the race,
Okay,
right?
Yes.
All right, so,
that's better terminology.
yeah, okay. So, and in effect, and we'll talk about that with the meeting as we get closer to it, so people know, and we'll put out public announcements and whatnot to make sure everyone knows that. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Piker?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Sergeant Bradley?
Aye.
Mr. Polito?
Aye.
Mr. Collins? Aye.
Can you just come back when we get a little bit closer and you have better numbers, so we can know time-wise? If it's gonna take you the longer 2 o'clock
It
or
will,
the
it
new?
will take a while for me to get numbers, but if it helps the commission, and I think it will, if I limit it to certain things, I will do that as well. And we have the ability to say, we're only gonna take X number of entrants.
Right. Right now, you're covered to 2 o'clock,
Okay.
so,
If you think
It-
anything major changes from that, just keep us in the loop.
That's wishful thinking, honestly, on my part, the 2 o'clock. Chances are it'll be a little bit less than that, but
Okay.
again.
It's fine.
the-
Better safe
the
than sorry.
interest is so
Frankly, Mr. May, if you were to come back
extreme.
in July or August, it would be a good reminder to the general public
Right.
about this event happening, so it'll be repeated again on television. So, and besides people informally coming upon different commissioners saying, and what's this about? I can tell them. Well, we discussed it in January, and we discussed it again in July and August, and yes, that's what's going to
I'd be
happen.
happy to come back and fill in any details, July,
Plus,
August.
it'll be a good reminder again for
Yeah,
the
I think
voting
so,
public
and
on the
for
lake that
us
this
as
is going to
well.
happen.
I mean, we need to firm up exactly what we're gonna do, because logistics is everything for me on these things. It's gonna dictate the amount of time we need to interrupt everybody else on the lake.
all right.
We don't take it for granted that, you just give us
Yeah.
the ability to do that. We're very grateful for.
We understand that, and we appreciate your collaboration with us on these types of things, so, it's all good from our standpoint.
All right.
Excellent.
It's the other boat club we're having a problem with.
And then, so yeah, just make sure you go ahead and do the environmental police and do all those other permits as well, and then we'll keep in the loop.
The Lake Commission is number one on my list.
Yes, exactly. We
There
are
you go.
number one.
Yeah, we are number one.
Good luck, Mr. May, with that.
Getting your approval allows us to go forward
Right,
with
yep,
everything else.
yeah, you can
Yep.
start the ball rolling. Joe, thanks, good luck with
Thank you
this.
very much.
Yep, anything else we can
I
do, let
hope
us know.
we're rolling soon, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think we're going to roll early this year.
I have Katie attending remotely as well.
okay.
Do you want her to do her update, or do you want to talk about the drawdown?
Two things, does anyone have a report, Mr. Piker, for,
I saw an eagle today in the Edgemere section of the lake. I don't know if it was going after roadkill or what. Sadly, just to make a comment, if people are following the news, they're aware there's a lot of this what's called bird flu around. I just hope, but, we'll see what happens, that an eagle doesn't decide to get an easy lunch by unfortunately devouring a bird that's been infected and died from the bird flu, and so would pass it on to them. That would be tragic. But it's not unlikely. But the eagles are around, as evidenced by today. Besides that, the lake is, most of it is frozen. There's a lot of activity on the lake. People, watch yourselves. If you're in a four-wheel ATV or snowmobile, be aware that there's people that might have ice tilts out, so don't run into them. Be cautious in terms of, any areas that are open water where there's flowage, although the lake is pretty hard right now. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
all right, thank you. Mr. Nelson?
Oh, I'd just like to comment, but Joe disappeared, that it's great that to have two Masters regattas proposed for this upcoming warm weather season. It's been 10 years since there's been a Masters race on Lake Quinsigamond, and it's really nice that some of us older people get a chance to do what prep schools and colleges do.
All right, I was just teasing you about the other boat club.
I know.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
Thank you. Sergeant Bradley?
Nothing new to report at this time.
All right. When's the boat going in?
It's
Let's melt
January.
the ice first.
I hope not soon.
Yeah, right, exactly. Don't put it in.
I'm predicting ice out around the 17th to 20th of March.
All right, that's,
And then Mr. Polito.
Yes, I echo what Mr. Piker is saying. A lot of activity on the lake. I did see an eagle Sunday flying around. Also saw a coyote running around the lake, running on to some of the islands and doing its thing. So, no, it's first time in many years that the lake has been frozen as it is. That's my report.
all right, thank you. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but the same thing, and especially in Flint Pond, it's like a Norman Rockwell painting every morning. There's people out there using the lake and skating, and there are four-wheelers and snowmobiles, ice fishermen galore. So it's really kind of nice to see that happening and all that. Other quick news too is that, and there's going to be more news to follow, but this year we're endeavoring to move the dock renewal process to a more automated online process. So we're working through that now. And I just got a message today from some technical stuff that I approve. So that'll be a good, I think, a more efficient way to do it with us. So more news to follow on that. That's all I have for that. Update on lake management plan. We are going through the permit process for the drawdown and for weed treatment, weed treatment and management on Flint Pond. So we have to get NOIs, which if you were here earlier, you heard us approve some of those costs associated with that. So that's a good thing. It's long overdue, so we're working on that. And also, and Katie may bring up some stuff here, so I don't want to steal her thunder, but we're starting the process of communicating with the folks at Natural Heritage about the treatment on the Lake Quinsigamond proper. So that's an ongoing thing now. And our permits were extended from the town of Grafton and the town of Shrewsbury and the city of Worcester. So from a permit standpoint, we're good to go there.
Wonderful.
And that's about it on that. And Katie, you still with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you
Yes.
loud and clear.
She
Excellent.
is prepping for Stay of the Lakes tomorrow. So she's attending
Yeah.
remotely.
Yeah, so I'm attending remotely this evening, and apologies that my remote setup isn't the best for camera access at the moment. But just wanted to provide a bit more detail on what Peter mentioned. The Permit Extension Act extended automatically the permits from the 3 municipalities for 2 more years for each permit, and that also extended the Natural Heritage Project Plan, which was set to expire, or which should have expired after the end of this season. But because the state law extended a bunch of permits, including natural heritage, we have about 2 more years with that plan still valid. I think that might only cover 1 to 2 additional lake management seasons. So because of this, it's worth considering whether we're able to do additional lake management treatment in the beginning of the management season. I think there's a possibility that our planned diver assisted suction harvesting activities could move forward in May or June, targeting fanwort or milfoil in the southern section of the lake. However, we need to have clarifying conversations with Natural Heritage, because to take any management efforts in those areas of the lake, we need not just a permit in place, but we need a specific project plan for exactly that management effort. We had developed a project plan for that planned management effort, but of course it was supposed to be implemented in 2024. So we need to clarify if we need to completely redo that minor plan, or just update it a little bit and understand how the extension will impact how much additional work we'll need to do for future treatments. So I'm looking forward to working with the commission to figure out all of that. Another update I have is about the new watershed-based planning project that the City of Worcester has started. The Department of Sustainability and Resilience Lakes and Ponds program has contracted a consultant, Comprehensive Environmental, to develop these plans, which will conform to the EPA 9-element planning framework to reduce non-point source pollution at a watershed scale. This process has been kicked off, and we're starting conversations with initial stakeholders, including the Commission and the Watershed Association and the town of Shrewsbury and the town of Grafton, among others. We are planning to have a large public meeting for public engagement in likely March for specifically the Quinsigamond watershed. This project will also address 2 other recreational sub-watersheds in Worcester as well. And my last update is that the State of the Lakes event is tomorrow at 5:45 at the Worcester Senior Center at 128 Providence Street. This event is a bit of a year in review presentation about the Lakes and Ponds program. So we will discuss the monitoring data from our program's efforts from 2024, talk about how the health of the lakes looked generally, and specific lake challenges and implications for management and outreach and monitoring going forward into 2025. So Lake Quinsigamond will be covered at that event tomorrow, and we hope to see folks if they're interested in attending. And finally, we have produced a lake report with the detailed results of the monitoring program on Lake Quinsigamond, which will be available on our website tomorrow, hopefully, if not on Friday. So feel free to take a look at that. Take a skim if you're interested. Take a really detailed read if you're really interested. And thanks so much. Hope to see everyone tomorrow.
All right, Katie, thank you. And again, break a leg tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. You guys have any questions or comments? All right. Have fun. Moving on, I don't think anyone's here from the watershed.
Nope.
And I do also want to mention one other thing that Katie forgot to bring up. There will be snacks.
Good snacks.
Good snacks at the State of the Lake. So it's a good place to go and graze, as well as listen to Katie's excellent reports. And the reports are, because I've been to, I think, all but one now, and they are really good and really helpful, and gives you a good idea of what's happening in Lake Quinsigamond. And to all those people out there that think that the lake is in such poor shape and polluted and all this, this would probably be a good thing to go to get the real story of the health of Lake Quinsigamond, which we work really hard. And the watershed initiative that Lakes and Ponds is spearheading is something that, as a commission here, we've been really like, looking to do is, finding out where, what's coming into the lake, and as I've said many times, it's probably the most dangerous thing in Lake Quinsigamond is, what's coming in here every day, because it basically flows in some form 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. So this is what we want and what we need to do it. So keep yourself informed on that. All right, review correspondence. What, do we have correspondence in here?
The only one at the end,
yeah.
somebody has a dock bubbler,
Oh, yes.
water bubbler to keep the water near their dock from freezing.
Yep.
So there was a question, I put it to both City of Worcester and
The answer to the question is this is not allowed on Lake Quinsigamond.
because they're supposed to pull their dock out in the winter, correct?
Well, they're supposed to they can do whatever they want with their dock. Mm-hmm. But, if it gets away, they're responsible for any damage that it causes.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not supposed to make a bigger than a 9-inch hole, 10-inch hole on Lake Quinsigamond. So there's that, and,
If the dock gets crushed by the ice,
Well, that's-
the commission is not liable for it. That's-
right.
Yeah,
So
but that part's their problem, but there's,
that part's their problem, and, there's a specific rule in Lake Quinsigamond that you cannot use.
okay, you cannot have a man-made
You can't have a bubbler.
hole in the ice
You
greater
can't-
than 9
You
inches.
can't have a bubbler, basically is what it is.
Okay,
So, I don't have that right in front of me, but it's definitely a rule.
it's a rule.
It came in front of the commission probably,
I had to
25
shut someone
years ago.
down. Where is this? Because I had to shut someone down.
It's at 139 Lake Ave on Worcester.
All right.
So it only came up, last week? So it just
Yeah.
kind of, it's not a conservation
I'd
thing.
reached out to the person who had done this because they had left the phone number and I didn't get a call back, so,
The person who emailed us?
yes.
All right,
So,
we can email back.
yep. So, but I will, someone from the commission will follow up on this.
All right,
All right. Good. And
That was the only-
thank you,
oh, one more.
the neighbors that did it.
The Historical Society is asking if somebody from Lake Quinsig will go and give a presentation.
Oh, I did speak with him.
Okay, good.
Yep,
Just wanted to make sure.
yep. Mr. Piker will be there.
Okay.
I will, when is that?
I've been meaning to tell you this.
He volunteered you.
When is that? Where is that?
It's gonna be at the, it's not till 2027.
What?
It's a ways away. It's a ways
They
away.
planned that far out?
Little advanced planning.
Yeah, they,
You kidding me? It's 2 years from now.
it's a ways away.
Okay.
I have no idea.
They
I'll say,
have,
okay, I'll do it then if I'm so breathing.
yeah. Well, even if not, because you could use it for like a display. So, they want to do it in conjunction with the 300th anniversary of Shrewsbury. So that's
Okay,
2027, yes?
all right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
okay,
So, wait a minute.
okay.
27, yeah.
Yep, 27, okay? Thank goodness someone put the seal up there. I knew it would come in here.
Or the year on,
Yeah, so.
Okay.
I
was
believe
it.
I believe that's what it is. So yes, we were, and I told them we were anxious to do it.
okay, perfect.
All right, so, next month, is that the next thing on the agenda?
Yeah, pick a
Yep.
meeting.
That'd be all right.
Set the next meeting date. What do we have?
I am not available on that last Wednesday.
It's February 26th?
Let me pull up the calendar so I make sure I'm looking at numbers.
March 5th?
Yeah, I can either do March 5th or Town Hall in here is available on the 19th.
The 19th of February?
Yep.
Is that okay for everybody?
Yeah, it seems.
I mean, it's a little closer, but,
Is there going to be that much to discuss, if I could ask that question, Mr. Chair, that we necessitate a meeting in only 2.5 weeks versus 5 weeks?
I mean, we have a lot going on with, Newton Pond and everything, so we have to go to some of the other commissions.
To Mr. Piker's point, I guess the 5th would be okay. I hate moving stuff around month to month. But yeah, all right, so, March 5th is okay with me. And
Okay.
is there a room available?
It appears that this room should be available
Okay. Famous last words.
for March 5th.
Yeah.
And then do you want to do the end of March again, or you just want to see how busy we
All
are?
of the rowing starts in March. Is there
So do you want to,
anything that's supposed to come up from the Quinsigamond Rowing Association?
They-
I think
we
approved
approved-
in the fall, right?
we approved their schedule in October.
Yeah.
So,
But the 5th should give us time.
I mean, the 18th will just give us an opportunity to remind people it's coming back up.
All right.
it's up to you.
Likely on the 5th,
Okay.
there's still going to be ice on the pond, so,
I mean, at this rate, probably.
yeah.
So no rowing.
No rowing. Well,
They'll start the day the ice breaks.
right.
When is the refill of the lake?
The,
In terms of the dam going back-
re-impoundment is going to start, actually, March 1st.
So
On or
for-
about March 1st.
So for people listening at home, the re-impoundment RE, the dam being raised and the lake's starting to come back up again will commence on March 1st.
Right. It may actually be before that. We'll send out a notice, but the why I say that is that by under our permit, we need to have the lake at Summer Pool by April 1st.
You know, an important feature of that, Mr. Chair, is that when the lake starts filling up, the shoreline and the ice are gonna separate. That is, there's gonna be water between where the lake meets the land and the ice is. Because when the lake fills up, so it's not gonna be as easy to access, if there still is safe ice, out into the lake, because there'll be a barrier of water. People should be aware of that, so,
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Also, that means the ice is going to be moving,
yes.
which is both concerning to pedestrians on the ice and also for any structures around the lake. So if you did,
It's on the downwind side.
well, there's no telling where that the wind's going to blow. So that's it. When the wind blows and the ice moves,
It's gonna crush
I can say
anything.
nothing will stop it. So
Yes.
including walls and certainly not docks. And so just be careful. If you did leave your dock in and you can get at it now and move it out, I would do that if I were you. And that's my comment on that. All right, so
Next meeting, Mr. Chair, to be clear again, is gonna be
March 5th.
March 5th.
Wednesday, March 5th, 7
Yep.
PM in this room.
Yep.
And we don't, Mr. Polito, are you still with us?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
right here.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to
And
adjourn.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
So I'll second the motion, Mr. Chair.
All right. Mr. Piker,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Sergeant Bradley,
Aye.
Mr. Polito,
Aye,
and myself, aye. Thank you very much.
thank you.